Welcome to Nonprofits and Support Groups with Papa B on The Voice at Access Sacramento. The purpose of this show is not to enter into any controversies or this program's better than that program or this nonprofit does this, or it's just to get information out to the local community about what's available in the area. Throughout my recovery, I've heard people say, well, how did you find out about that group? And I thought I'd put this show together to help explain some of the nonprofits and support groups that I'm aware of. And if you'd like to add any, please feel free to write me at papab2010@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to talk with you a little bit and see if we can put something together. So with this show, I'm going to play a little bit of music and mostly interviews of nonprofits and let them explain what their nonprofit is all about and how it works.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me. Well, send them your heart. So then
Today I'll be interviewing Dr. Jeff Hardin with Insight World Aid. I hope you enjoy this show and gain a new insight into this wonderful nonprofit. I would ask that you please have your pen and paper ready to take down some vital information that Dr. Hardin will pass out in regards to his contact information and how you could find further information on this nonprofit organization on the website. On that website too, of course, there'll be a place where you can donate financially if you cannot donate, your time or other efforts. So here we go with my interview with Dr. Jeff Hardin. Today I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Jeff Hardin with Insight World Aid, and here with me is Dr. Jeff Hardin. How are you today, Jeff?
Oh, very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show today.
Good. What is Insight World Aid?
Well, we're a nonprofit that was started about 2 years ago, and what our main goal is to bring resources to communities and individuals in need, both here in the U.S. and specifically in Northern California, and also internationally. And this really is coming out of a specific community here in Northern California, and that's the Insight Meditation community. This is a mindfulness-based community that really stems from American branch of Buddhism, and we've kind of organized ourselves over the last couple of years to bring some resources to people in need, and to do it in a way that's, I guess we should say, really non-denominational. We're not out there preaching any religion or foisting our meditation techniques onto people, but we recognize there's quite a need in very many different communities throughout this country and in the world.
What is the population that Insight World Aid is looking to service? And by that I mean, is it local community? Is it low income? Is it little villages somewhere? Or who do you hope to help with this nonprofit?
Yeah, well, we're starting out small. We've just organized and we've gotten our 501c3 status, and we're collecting donations, and we're putting volunteers to work in various aspects of our organization. But we're really trying not to overstep our boundaries. There's a lot of wonderful, very large organizations, both governmental and non-governmental organizations throughout the world that are helping out different communities. But we thought what we would start with is two main areas, one domestic and one international. So domestic, we've been volunteering with different types of homeless and low-income health fairs and wellness fairs. So our volunteers will go out to these health fairs and see people, provide medical services, other sorts of social services. And then international, what we're focusing on is we're putting together a medical mission to go to Cambodia. We've chosen Cambodia, which is a country that historically has really suffered quite a lot over the last several decades. There's been there was a genocide there in the 70s, and years of civil war after that, and the country's just getting back on its feet, and the healthcare conditions there are some of the worst in the region. So we have some ties there, and I myself have been there twice in the last 2 years doing some scouting and arranging and some medical work to bring over a team of our doctors and nurses and and non-medical people to help out a small village in Cambodia.
That's great. What are the future aspirations of Insight World Aid? Where do you see it heading, or where would you like it to be in the future?
Yeah, well, really, maybe the question preceding that would be, why would we, basically start this organization? In some ways, you might think we're recreating the wheel. There's these huge organizations, both Christian organizations, some Jewish organizations, Muslim organizations, and non-denominational organizations that bring aid to both places in this country and places abroad. So the question, might be, why did this small group of meditators, and it's really not a small group. We have, a lot of branches throughout this country and in Europe and in Asia. But it started with just a few individuals. Why would we start an organization to bring aid? And really what, kind of the theory behind us starting this organization was we wanted to have basically a place where people who are meditators, people who maybe consider themselves Buddhist or not, but in this community have basically an outlet to put to practice a lot of the principles that we learn about, we study, and we practice in the meditation process. The meditation process, mindfulness, we see as a way of calming the mind, of really understanding all of our thoughts and emotions and our actions in the world, and taking accountability for them, and living a life where we're not harming, where we're helpful to others, and that we're mindful, which another word for mindfulness is awareness, or being awake, and being really connected with our lives and the lives of others. So we wanted to approach helping others and working in the aid area from this point of view. So that's why we started this organization. Now, the question that you asked was, where do you see it going? And from that humble beginnings, I would really like to see us to start these missions abroad, for example, and then expand them, and have regular health expeditions or missions to different countries, starting in Cambodia. We're also looking at Burma and South Africa. And eventually I'd like to see us establish some clinics that are staffed by local healthcare providers in these various areas of need, and that we would support these clinics. We'd have our volunteers come and help staff them, but they'd really be run by indigenous people, by the people who live there and who know their culture and their community best. Locally, I would like to see our group continue to expand, to participate more in health fairs. Perhaps run some of our own. We've talked about things like opening a food pantry, or having some assistance for people who need transportation, or Meals on Wheels. There's a lot of different areas we're looking at currently, but we'd like to eventually get to the point where we have quite a battery of volunteers helping out, and we're servicing several communities. Right now, most of our local work has been in the Sacramento area and in the San Francisco Bay Area, and in fact our headquarters for Insight World Aid is technically in Redwood City in the San Francisco Bay Area, but a lot of the operations are conducted from here, from Sacramento.
It's a great segue for my next question. I was going to ask you, how do individuals in the local area get involved with Insight World Aid? Is there a particular, do you have to be a meditator? Do you have to be a Buddhist? What kind of volunteer would you be looking for? What kind of financial aid would you be looking for, financial assistance?
Yeah, we have, at this point, what we're doing, spending a lot of our efforts on is building the infrastructure. We've recently formed some volunteer action teams. These are in basically 4 areas of need in our budding organization. One of them is the international team, which is looking at, how can we bring over teams of people to work and help out, specifically in Cambodia, but also in other areas down the line. And to do this in a way that is well thought out and well planned, and not kind of just blunder forward and create a lot of problems for the people we're supposedly trying to help. So that's one of our teams. Another one is a local action team, which is basically carrying on that same work locally, and how we can participate in these health and wellness fairs, and how we can get involved with other organizations that have some capacity that needs building. Then we have a communications team that is working at basically getting the word out about our organization, managing our website, our email newsletters, all of the kind of day-to-day work of communications that a new organization or any organization needs to have. And then our final team is our financial volunteer team, and this team consists of keeping track of our books, also fundraising and grant research and writing. So we are looking for individuals to get involved in any or all of those teams. We also accept donations. We have a website that has a PayPal button on it. We also accept donations at our main office, which is in Redwood City. And you can find the address for that on our website, which our website address is insightworldaid.org. That's spelled INSIGHTWORLDAID.org, insightworldaid.org. And on that website, it explains how to get involved in the volunteer teams, and also how to donate. Also, you can help out our organization by just spreading the word. Like this radio program, I really appreciate it to get the word out there about our work. And one of the aspects of your question was, do you have to be of any certain philosophical or religious background, and that, not at all. We accept people of any background. Really our orientation is one of mindfulness, that is to approach all of our activities in life mindfully, and not create further problems, or just approach helping others recklessly, but to do it in a way that's balanced, that's appropriate for the situation. that's compassionate and wise. That's really our motto. So we don't have any restrictions. We're very inclusive, and we're very appreciative for whatever help we can get to further our cause.
Sounds like a great project. Yesterday I was listening to the local TV channel, and they were talking about their medical drive that they were having, where they were providing medical services to low income. And I heard of a lady that was getting her dental care through there, and it was the only option she had for dental work. And it was really, really touching to me to see that. Would you have any stories similar to that, or that you could share with the audience on how your program touches people's lives, or if you've had any individual experience where Insight World Aid or your being a doctor has assisted others in their health care?
Yes, actually 2 stories come to mind. Thank you for asking that. Actually, we were, Insight World Aid was at that Cal Expo medical health fair over the weekend, and I was working myself yesterday in the medical part of that. They call it a medical expedition, but basically it's a health fair. They did dental and vision and medical. And I was seeing a patient there, a young woman who had quite a few kids at home. She didn't have a job, really struggling. She had basically hadn't eaten in 2 days. She was really saving all of her food for her children, and really wasn't able to take care of herself in this situation. And she, like many people in this economy and in this our current health care crisis, had fallen through the cracks. She wasn't currently in any assistance program like Medicaid is one program that provides assistance for people with low income or no income, and she didn't have these services. She had diabetes and high blood pressure and a number of conditions that were basically being untreated and couldn't afford the medications. And there wasn't a whole lot we could do for her, the bigger picture for her. But in that moment, just stopping to be kind to her, listening to her, I did give her a prescription for some medications. Gave her some counseling on how to take care of herself and specifically her diabetes and her blood pressure better. And just kind of listened to her troubles, in this very difficult life that she's found herself in. For me, this is what really inspires me to do this work, is that one-on-one connection. Similar situation happened last year in Cambodia. I was there participating in a medical mission in Cambodia in a small village, and I had another patient, very similar, a young single mother who was working long hours. She was trying to take care of her 2 kids in this case, and her health had also really paid the price of years of trying to make ends meet in a very difficult environment. One could argue in many cases that this is much more of a struggle to survive in Cambodia than it is in America. But I was there seeing her and listening to her difficulties and her struggles through a translator. She didn't have any major life-threatening health issues at that time, but she was suffering a lot from chronic pain and fatigue, and she had depression, and I imagine also post-traumatic stress disorder, as a lot of people in that society do. And after listening to her for a while, and I also gave her some prescriptions, some medication, she was gathering up her kids and her stuff, and she started to walk away without saying a word, and that was fine. But then she kind of caught herself, and she stopped, and tears almost welled up in her eyes, and she looked at me and said something in Cambodian. I don't speak Cambodian, so I didn't understand. But the translator who was there translated it as she said, it's no one's really stopped to listen to me ever that I can recall, and things are just so hectic in my life, I really appreciate, what you're doing here, and I got the sense it was you as in our whole group, because we had really come there to help that village out, and had a lot of these personal interactions like this, and that just really touched my heart, that this woman, that she would stop like that and acknowledge, that there was some, exchange, or that there was some value to what we were doing there. So it's stories like that that really, keep me going and inspire me to do this work and to have a lot of hope, for what benefit our organization can provide, and, maybe on a grander scale, the hope for the human species to together work our way out of this mess that we've gotten ourselves into.
That's great. That's really a touching story. It's a beautiful story. Thanks for sharing that. Would you have any final words or anything else you'd like to add about Insight World Aid that our listeners should know, or anything personal going on in the Sacramento area that you'd like to mention?
Well, I would just refer people to our website. We also have a Facebook page. There's a number of resources on that, previous talks and interviews such as this. And we have plans in the next few months to be involved in other health fairs. We can always use help structuring the organization and building the organization. We can use financial donations. Also, we look for connections, people who have experience working in Cambodia or working in this country. Certainly people who speak Cambodian. So we can use a lot of help, and appreciate your having us on your show today.
Great. Thank you for giving us your time and your energy on this project. So, in closing, I'd like to thank Dr. Jeff Hardin with Insight World Aid for his time and generosity today, and I would ask him to keep up the beautiful work they're doing here and in our local community. That was my interview with Dr. Jeff Hardin. Jeff has played an important part in my individual practice. He's a great friend and a devoted practitioner, as well as many others in the particular group I belong to. So thank you, Jeff, for that. I would also like to give out the Insight World Aid information again. The email is insightworldaid, all one word, at gmail.com. Their website is insightworldaid, all one word again, .org. Their Facebook is www.facebook.com/insightworldaid. And they even have a phone number. That would be 650-241-9616, and that is a voicemail. So if you leave your voicemail there, they would return your call. They even have a physical address over in Redwood City. That's 108 Birch Street, Redwood City, California, 94062. And again, thank you, Dr. Hardin, for that nice interview. That was really nice and touching. If you are part of a nonprofit or a support group, be it 12-step or whatever, mental health or whatever you think might benefit those in need, please contact me at papab2010@gmail.com. Of course, with the nature of 12 steps and support groups, anonymity is respected as well as expected. I don't want people giving out names or whatever. I just want to know how your support group can benefit those who are still suffering. So again, we'll move on here and we'll try and finish up the song from We Are the World.
time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need.